Oh, we do have one attendee.
Okay, we are now live on YouTube. The meeting can begin.
Thank you so much. And let me begin by apologizing. We had some technical difficulties this evening getting started, but we're here now. And welcome to our September Town Board meeting. Start of the school year, some school districts are hybrid, some are virtual, whatever model you and your family have chosen to follow. We just hope that the school year is off to a good start. Traditionally, during the month of September, we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, recognizing those residents of Hispanic heritage who have made outstanding contributions to their community and impacted the lives of so many others in a positive way. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we're unable to have our traditional ceremony this year. On behalf of the members of the town board, we're going to still take this opportunity to honor our friends, neighbors, and fellow residents of Hispanic heritage for their impact on our communities. This month, we pay tribute to you and celebrate your hard work and dedication to the quality of life of the residents of our great town of Islip. September is also National Recovery Awareness Month. And you'll notice that Councilman O'Connor and Councilwoman Mullen are both wearing purple. The town has gone purple, the color that symbolizes recovery, to raise awareness and start the conversation so that hopefully we'll educate our fellow citizens that substance abuse treatment and mental health services can enable those with those issues to live healthy and rewarding lives. And I think the entire message is that of hope, that there is hope for recovery. The town cupola will be lit purple during the month, and there is some resourceful programming on Channel 18 and Verizon Channel 1982. Also, we wanted to recognize next month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that we've partnered with Northwell and the town of Babylon to host the second annual Pink by the Bay, which will be a month-long effort designed to promote breast cancer awareness and education. The Town of Islip Town Hall and Town of Babylon cupolas will both be lit pink for the entire month. And again, as we continue through this pandemic, we wanted to remind everyone of the 4 W's as we head into fall. And that's wash your hands, watch your distance, staying 6 feet apart, wear a mask, and windows to ventilate as much as possible. The potential, unfortunately, exists for a double threat as we approach flu season on top of COVID. So on behalf of all of the members of the town board, we're urging everyone to please get their flu shots. So before we call the meeting officially to order, I'd like to remind anyone who wishes to address the board regarding our scheduled public hearings or any of the board cleanup resolutions, they've had an opportunity to fill out our online registration form. But if you have not and you wish to speak on one of those hearings or board up resolutions, just go type into the Q&A line stating which hearing you would like to speak on. So I'll just give everyone a few minutes to do that. And while we're waiting, I'd ask the town clerk, she has an announcement regarding our 2021 tentative operating budget. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Madam Supervisors and members of the town board, pursuant to New York State town law, the town controller has filed the tentative budget for 2021 in the office of the town clerk, and I am now presenting the duly filed tentative budget at this time at the scheduled public meeting to the board.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Okay, we will begin this evening with our scheduled public hearings for the board's consideration. I'll call upon Olga Murray, our town clerk, to read the first hearing notice. Olga?
Okay, thank you. Today's first public hearing is to consider amending Chapter 61 entitled Vehicle Uses Fire Island.
Okay, are there any questions?
I have no questions on this application, but Supervisor, I'm going to ask once again that we say the Pledge of Allegiance before we start these meetings.
Why don't we conclude the public hearings and then we'll do just that before we start the formal meeting?
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
With that, I will make the motion to approve, close the public hearing and approve the resolution regarding transportation on Fire Island.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman Mullen. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved.
I'm opposed. I'm opposed.
Okay, so we have 4 in favor. It is approved. Thank you. Madam Clerk, the second public hearing, please.
Yes, the second hearing is to consider amending Chapter 68 zoning of the Islip Town Code.
Are there any questions from the board? No one has signed up to speak on this. Any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to close the public hearing and offer the resolution.
Thank you, Councilman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Next hearing, Madam Clerk.
Yes, hearing number 3 today is to consider enacting Local Law 2 of 2020, amending Islip Town Code, Chapter 68-670, Subdivision A1G.
Okay, are there any questions on this particular hearing? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Again, I'll move we close the public hearing and offer the resolution for its adoption.
I'll second
We
that.
have a motion from Councilman O'Connor and a second from Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Okay, before we move to the formal agenda, I would ask Councilman Cochran to please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance
To the
The
flag
flag of the United States of America,
to the flag of the United States of America, the republic which stands, one nation,
and one nation under
nation
God,
under God,
indivisible,
and justice for all.
and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Cochran. All right, we move now to resolution number 1, meeting of the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency. Of a motion to convene.
Motion to convene.
Motion to convene by Councilwoman Bergen, second by Councilman Cochran. The Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency is convened. Quorum being present. Mr. Walzer.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, members of the agency board, John Walzer, 40 Nassau Avenue, Islip, New York. I have several items for your consideration today. The first to consider is the approval of the minutes from the agency board meeting on August 11th of this year.
A motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. We move to item 3 to consider the adoption of a resolution appointing John G. Walzer as Executive Director of the Town of Islip Industrial Development Agency. John has served as his deputy for many years and admirably, I would add. I'll make that motion, and second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Congratulations, John.
Thank you very much, Supervisor and board members. I've enjoyed my time working with Bill. He was a great friend and mentor, and I look forward to carrying on his legacy. Next to consider is an inducement resolution between the agency and Whitson's Food Service. Whitson's will be buying their second building in the town of Islip at 3300 Vets Highway, Bohemia. This expansion of their business represents a capital investment of $9 million and will add 12 jobs at this facility and considerably more at their existing facility.
Are there any questions?
No
Hearing
question.
none, motion?
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second.
Second.
by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Next, John.
Next to consider is a resolution consenting to a transfer of ownership of the solar array on the Lincoln Avenue landfill. All lease agreements with the Industrial Development Agency and the Resource Recovery Agency remain in full force and effect.
Any questions? Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Councilman Mullen made the motion. Second
Second.
by
Second.
Councilman Cochran. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved.
Similarly, the next item to consider is a resolution consenting to a transfer of ownership of a solar array on the Bleidenberg Road landfill. All lease agreements with the agency remain in full force and effect.
Great. Any questions?
Motion.
Thank you. Councilman Cochran made the motion. Second
Second.
by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Next to consider is a resolution authorizing mortgage refinancing of Alpha Med Realty LLC.
Are there any questions on this? Motion? I'll make the motion. Is
to
there a
approve.
second?
Councilman
Second by
O'Connor
Councilman
made.
Mullen.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved.
I'm sorry, can you please repeat who made the motions?
I made the motion. Councilwoman Mullen made the second.
Thank you.
Last to consider is a resolution authorizing the awarding of grant funds to various applicants of the COVID-19 Emergency Grant and Loan Program.
I just want to thank John and everyone who participated. I know that at the last meeting, we formed the committee after we had authorized $250,000 for this grant and loan program for small businesses. And 22 companies are being awarded to the amount of $131,000. So there's still grant and loan money available out there. And we're continuing the outreach. So John, you did a great job with that. We really appreciate it. And I know these businesses do. May I have a motion on this?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor,
Second.
second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved.
Okay.
There is no other business to come before the agency. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second by Council
I'll second.
Second.
Mullen. Thank you. The Town of Islip Industrial Agency meeting is adjourned. We move to 2, meeting of the Town of Islip Economic Development Corporation. I will entertain a motion to convene the
Motion.
meeting of the corporation. Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. The meeting of the Town of Islip Economic Development Corporation is convened, a quorum being present, and we will now move to the agenda.
Thank you. Thank
So-
you, Madam Chair, members of the Corporation Board, John Walzer, 40 Nassau Avenue, Islip. I just have 2 items for your consideration today. First to consider is the approval of the minutes from the Corporation Board meeting on January 14th of this year.
There a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by
Second.
Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? The minutes are approved. I will make the motion to consider the adoption of the resolution appointing John G. Walzer as Chief Executive Officer of the corporation and Joe Ludwig as Chief Financial Officer of the Town of Islip Economic Development Corporation. I made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. No other business before the corporation.
Motion to adjourn.
Adjourned by Councilman O'Connor,
Second.
by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Adjourned. We now move to item 3, the town board authorization to clean up and secure certain properties within the town. Taryn is here to walk us through.
Good evening, Madam Supervisor, member of the town board, town clerk, Taryn Jewell, assistant town attorney, 655 Main Street, Islip, New York. Number 1, to board and clean up the premises located at 5 to 7 Grant Court in Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors, an unsecured attached garage, an unsecured above-ground pool with litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Are there any questions?
No questions.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Approved.
Number 2, to board and clean up the premises located at 21 Wade Crest Avenue, West Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors with high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions?
No.
Taryn, do you know if that vehicle that's pictured is on this property or the adjacent property?
I think it's on this one, but it would be part of the cleanup as litter and debris if
Yeah, that's
you were to
nice.
go out.
Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 3, to board and clean up the premises located at 22 Andrew Avenue, Islip Terrace. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsecured basement window with litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Councilman Bergen, second
Second.
by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Number 4, to demolish the premises located at 27 Home Street, Sayville. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsafe dwelling, which is in immediate danger of collapse due to structural failure, disrepair, and neglect. The structure has been determined to be in imminent danger of collapse by our senior building inspector. The dwelling constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion?
Nope. Motion.
Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 5 has been withdrawn as it is now in compliance. Number 6, to board and clean up the premises located at 45 East Lakeland Street, Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors, an unsecured shed, an unregistered vehicle with litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second.
Second.
Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Number 7, to board and clean up the premises located at 88 Wheeler Road, Central Islip. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors with high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second
Second.
by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 8, to board and clean up the premises located at 171 Elm Drive, Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists a frame of a house with high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 9, to board and clean up the premises located at 295 Wurz Street, Brentwood. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists unsecured windows and doors with high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 10, to board and clean up the premises located at 324 East Manhasset Street, Islip Terrace. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exists an unsecured detached garage with high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Number 11, to board and clean up the premises located at 761 Spur Drive North, Bayshore. On this vacant and unsecured property, there now exist unsecured windows and doors with high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter and debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullins, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Second.
Number 12, to clean up the premises located at 1245 Brookdale Avenue, Bayshore. On this property, there now exists high grass, overgrown vegetation, and litter debris, which constitutes a nuisance and presents a fire, safety, and health hazard. Notice of this hearing was provided to all known persons with a property interest in this premises.
Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Taryn.
Oh, Taryn, I'm so sorry. Madam Supervisor, may I just
Yes.
address?
Excuse me?
Can I just address Taryn for just a second, if you don't mind?
Certainly.
So Taryn, I'm not going to put you on the spot right now, but I'm getting so many calls to my office, and I know that the supervisor, the town board members, we're all getting calls about Oakdale with the Dowling College thing. So I'm hoping that maybe next town board meeting, we can get some sort of an update on what we're doing with that. That would be so helpful.
I do know that new notice of violations were issued, so I think we're waiting for that time to expire, and then the new process to get them on this resolution would be started.
Thank you so
Actually,
much.
Fire marshals are due back for reinspection on the 25th.
Yep.
But in the meantime, the property manager on behalf of Mercury contacted the Historical Society and a number of other people, myself included, to say that they are moving forward with coming into compliance. That was received just yesterday. So
Yeah.
hopefully by the time we go back for that reinspection on the 25th, we'll see some positive activity happening.
Let's hope so. Thank you so much. I like to address the folks who are watching us, and they want to know what's going on with the Dowling College property. And I never want to put anybody on the spot, but if we could get like a full update next time, that would be
Sure.
so helpful. It just
I'll do
would
that.
help the residents, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let us move now to item number 4, meeting of the Town of Islip Resource Recovery Agency. We have Commissioner here, Marty Ballou.
Yes.
And we have a motion to convene. Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by
Second.
Councilwoman Bergen. The Town of Islip Resource Recovery Agency meeting is convened. A quorum is present, so we will proceed.
Madam Chair, members of the agency board, Martin Ballou, President of the Islip Resource Recovery Agency, 401 Main Street, Islip, New York. I have a couple items for consideration tonight. The first item for consideration is the approval of the minutes for the July 21st, 2020 agency board meeting.
Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman
Make
O'Connor.
a motion to approve the
second by
minutes?
Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
The minutes are approved. Marty, the
Next
next.
I have a resolution authorizing the president to execute amendments of lease of agency property at the Bleidenberg landfill and the Lincoln Avenue landfill to extend the term of such leases with increases in rental income to the agency.
Are there any questions?
Motion
No.
approved.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second. by
Second.
Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved.
And
No other business to come before us?
that concludes the business of the agency. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullins, second by
Second.
Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
It is approved. Next, item number 5, authorization for the supervisor to recognize assignment to the Fire Islands Shellfish Company LLC for an existing license agreement for one parcel of town-owned bay bottom land in the Great South Bay. Any questions? Motion by
Motion.
Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Recuse.
We have 4 in favor, 1 recusal. The motion is approved. Item number 6, authorization for the supervisor to recognize assignment to the Negatog Project, Inc. for an existing license agreement for 1 parcel of town-owned Bay Bottom land for the purpose of shellfish cultivation in the Great South Bay. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman
Second.
O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed?
Recuse.
We have 4 in favor, 1 recusal. The motion is approved. We move to item 7, the appropriation transfers. Are there any questions?
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Item number 8, the bid awards. Any questions? Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item number 9, the option year resolutions. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Item 10, authorization for the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to consider amending the town of Islip Uniform Traffic Code. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman
Second.
Mullen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 11, town board acceptance of a monetary donation from Islip Food for Hope to be used for the Thanksgiving food basket program. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Item 12, authorization for supervisor to execute an agreement with backflow specialists to provide RPZ testing on Suffolk County Water Authority pipes located in town of Islip facilities. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second.
Motion.
Second, do I have a second? By
Second,
Councilman
sorry.
O'Connor. All those in favor?
Wait,
Opposed.
the second was by who? Well, the second was by whom?
Excuse me, Olga?
The second was by whom? Who seconded?
Councilman O'Connor.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Item 14, authorization for supervisor to apply for and accept a state and municipal facilities program grant from the Dormitory Authority of the state of New York for renovations to the building at Modern Times Athletic Field. That's the BYA field on 3rd Avenue. Any questions? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item-
Supervisor,
Yes.
Madam Supervisor, we skipped 13.
Oh, I'm
The
sorry.
ASNY grant for,
That's a nice
last-
one too. Thank you. We don't want to skip this one. Authorization for the supervisor to apply for and accept grant funding from the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York to install a turf field at the Central Islip Community Park. Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. These grants, most of these grants came at the, were generated by Assemblyman Phil Ramos. So we're really very grateful to his attention to our needs here in the town and his ability to kind of help move this. So then we move to 15, authorization for the supervisor to apply for and accept a state and municipal facilities program grant from the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York for various improvements at Ross Park in Brentwood. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Item 16, authorization for supervisor to apply for and accept state and municipal facilities program grant from the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York for a pavilion and other park improvements at Ross Park. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 17, authorization of the supervisor to apply for and accept a grant from the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York to purchase and install a new playground at Vasquez Park in Brentwood. Any questions?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Bergen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Item 18, authorization for the supervisor to apply for and accept a state municipal facilities program grant for the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York to make renovations at the Central Islip Senior Center. Any
Nice.
questions? Motion?
No, compliments. Here, motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen,
Second.
second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 19, application or authorization for the supervisor to accept a state municipal facilities program grant from the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York for the resurfacing of Candlewood Road from Fifth Avenue to Spur Drive North in Brentwood. Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 20, authorization for supervisor to apply for and accept a state municipal facilities program grant for the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York for replacement of the gymnasium floor at the Brentwood Rec Center. This is something that we've been waiting for a long time. This is wonderful. Motion
Motion.
by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved.
Second.
Item 21, authorization for the supervisor to apply for and accept the state municipal facilities program grant from the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York for the purchase and installation of a camera security system and associated site security improvements at Roberto Clemente Park in Brentwood. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Authorization for the supervisor to apply for and accept a state municipal facilities program grant from the Dormitory Authority of the State of New York for fencing, security cameras, playground equipment, and other improvements at Ross Park in Brentwood. Motion by
Motion.
Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 23, authorization for the supervisor to enter into a contract with Macedeo Contracting Services, Inc. for DPW 4-2020 Southeast Parking Expansion at Cesar Trunzo Senior Center. That too is in Brentwood, and that too is something that they have been waiting for such a long time that that grant kind of got hung up, and we thank Assemblyman Ramos and I believe Senator Martinez for helping move that along. Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 24, authorization for the supervisor to execute an airline use agreement with American Airlines, as well as agreements with airline service companies to provide support services to commercial airlines at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman
Motion.
O'Connor, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. You know, probably is a good time now to mention the fact that the airport throughout this whole pandemic, we were operating every single day. And with the ban on travel from some states across the country that was imposed by the governor on July 4th, we saw a decline. It's starting to pick up again. We have a couple of flights a day going out of there, but you contrast that with Westchester County Airport that has no flights at all right now, and Stewart Airport that has 2 flights a week. So really, we've done well at Long Island MacArthur Airport. So we should really salute the leadership team there. They've done a great job. Item 25, authorization for the supervisor to execute a professional services agreement with DY Consultants for an environmental assessment relating to obstruction removal on the runway 1836 approach at Bayport Aerodrome at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions?
Motion.
By Councilman Cochran, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved.
May I
Authorization,
ask a question? I'm sorry, may I ask a question?
sure.
To Mr. Town Attorney, is that correct? Runway 18-36 approach at Bayport Aerodrome at Long Island MacArthur Airport?
It's at the Bayport Aerodrome, which is a Long Island MacArthur Airport property.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, and that was item 25. We move to 26, authorization for the supervisor to execute any and all documents to establish ComNet Software as the sole supplier of hardware and software application support services related to the MUFIDS and digital paging systems at Long Island MacArthur Airport. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by
Second.
Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 27, board acceptance of 2 easements on the premises located at 932, 936, and 940 John Avenue in Bayport for drainage purposes. Any questions? Especially after that rain, I'm sure they're all happy to see this happening. Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Town Board acceptance of a deed from Triple Crown Estates LLC for a piece of property at the southeast corner of Grundy Avenue and Twin Bark Avenue in Holbrook for a corner radius dedication for highway purposes. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Authorization for the supervisor to enter into a one contract extension with Louis Barbado Landscaping, Inc. for contract DPD 518, 2018 to 2020, townwide state trees. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Bergen, second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Authorization for the supervisor to enter into a second one-year contract extension with DL Concrete Corporation for contract DPD 818 streetscapes and sidewalks. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilman Cochran, second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? Approved. Item 31, authorization for the supervisor to execute an agreement with BFJ Planning to issue an RFP to identify a developer for the project, which will be funded by the incentive proposal previously entered into with New York State and Empire State Development. This is for the DRI grant for Carlton Avenue project, the $10 million grant we got from the state of New York. Things kind of
Motion
got
approved.
sidetracked with COVID, but I'm glad to see things are moving along. Motion by Councilman O'Connor, second by Councilman
Second.
Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 32, Town Board approval to establish a standard workday for elected officials and appointed officials for the town of Islip as required by Regulation 315.4 of the New York State and local retirement system. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman O'Connor. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 33, authorization for the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to consider enacting a local law of 2020, amending Chapter 12, titled Animals. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Councilman Bergen, second by Councilman Cochran. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 34, Town Board approval to establish base proportion ratios for homestead and non-homestead for the 2020-2021 assessment year as set forth in the Real Property Tax Law, Article 19 report on file in the office of the Islip Town Clerk. Any questions? Motion? Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second.
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? It is approved. Item 35, Town Board acceptance of a modification amendment to the 2020 to 2024 Consolidated Strategy and Plan Submission for Housing and Community Development Programs and 2021, the first annual action plan. Any questions? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Mullen, second by Councilman Conklin.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? I believe that takes care of all the resolutions on the agenda. And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Bergen, second
Second.
by Councilwoman Mullen. All those in favor? Opposed? We stand adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.